Hi everyone, I'm Reena Augustine and welcome to Community Impact. The reason we do this show is to bring to you the amazing people out here in Queensland who are making a difference. My guest today is the founder and director of Finance Point Australia, founder member of Aadmi Party of Australia, past vice president of GOPIO Queensland, and a very active member of Indian Australian community in Brisbane. He comes from a historic city of Meerut in Uttar Pradesh, who arrived in Australia in 2007 when he was picked from Delhi by an Australian telecom company to work as a dealer manager for Queensland. He has lived in UK for a few years where he completed his second master's degree and is well travelled across the globe. He's a strong supporter of change through quality education and a communal harmony, and spends a lot of time in volunteering for organizations who are delivering in these fields. He is a regular donor and active worker for bringing a positive change back home in India and is always supportive of the Indian community here in Australia. Being the founder and director of Finance Point Australia, he has assisted over 600 families in realizing their dream of buying their first home in Australia. He has supported many cultural and sports events of Indian communities and has keen interest in continuing to support the community. He is married with a 6-year-old son and he plays badminton twice a week. He loves traveling and learning about new cultures and meeting new people. He is also a Vipassana meditator and loves doing his meditation. Being an ardent supporter of bringing a positive change back home, he spends a lot of time in understanding, analyzing, and participating in Indian politics. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Vikas Sinha.
Thank you, Reena. Thank you for having me.
Mr. Vikas, I have known you from the time I have landed in Australia. So I landed here around 11 years back. And from the time I have landed, I have seen you in organizations like GOPIO Queensland, as I used to be one of the photographers volunteering. And you were an active member since then. And recently I saw a month back while you were helping out and sponsoring the BCL, the Cricket League in Brisbane. Yes?
Yes.
What motivates you?
Well, I think it's just me being capable of doing this is one thing. Second, the Indian community, considering what my past has been and what I have gone through in my childhood, things that I couldn't do, and one thing that I miss is playing sports. Mm-hmm. So I want to support the community here as much as I could. Some of the organizations are doing a wonderful job, such as one Gujarati Association. They do a Garba event where they actually generate funds and they actually help those bright students back home who are deprived and do not have means to complete their qualifications. So we just support them every year as well there. So yeah, just keep the community going, supporting them wherever we can.
So you came to Australia 14 years back?
Yes.
Yes,
about 14 years back.
And you were working. You came like your company sponsored you, and you're here. And for the last 14 years, right? Australia. You just mentioned before we were talking that it's the land of opportunities. And why do you say that?
Well, it is actually. I think I've never seen any business going bad, especially in the migrant community. And that's what I say to a lot of newcomers as well. Even in my business, when I appoint someone to be a new business owner, I say we as migrant community have a lot of opportunity that the people of Australia have, because people from our community, they look up to people from their own community to do business with. So there's a lot of opportunity in our community itself. So and of course, with Australia, the government system, the government support, the ease of doing business, everything is there. The quality of education, the quality of life. What is it that's not here? So I think that's why we call it the land of opportunity. And it indeed is. I have never seen anyone fail unless, excuse my language, you have to be stupid to fail, honestly, in Australia. So yeah, it is absolutely a land of opportunity.
You were mentioning about your childhood experience.
Yes.
So that is the reason why you go and support these many communities and especially the youngsters?
Yes, that's a very strong reason. So yeah, I mean, my childhood was not very good. My mother died when I was 8 months old. and then had a stepmom. She was very good until 8th standard. Life was good, and then all of a sudden, the domestic violence. So I've seen that very closely, in my childhood when you didn't have any moral support, and of course, forget about playing sports and all these extracurricular activities, because you just have to focus about your career. You have to think about, that you cannot afford to fail. And that's where I just couldn't enjoy my childhood at all. Studies, and next thing, and riding bicycle 75 kilometers a day, doing different tuitions, and then earning money and doing another course from it and saving a bit of money. So it was that childhood. And now I think that no child should see that, and every children should get the best possible life that they can. And that's why I'm a very strong supporter of quality education.
Yes, quality education. And you mentioned that there was no chance of you going to UK, but you made it happen. And how did you do that?
Indeed, yes. So, there was time when I was working in a company back in Delhi, and about 20,000 rupees a month was my salary. I had about 15,000 rupees savings in my bank account, and I thought that I need to go out to earn a foreign qualification, as is the dream of most Indians.
Absolutely.
So I said, well, I want to go to London, because I was very fascinated. I'm sure you've watched DDLJ.
Oh, who hasn't?
So I was very fascinated about London, and I wanted to go to London only. And then my friends laughed that you have 15,000 rupees in your account and you're talking about going to London. I said, well, I will do it. There was no financial support. Dad couldn't afford to support my foreign education because he was a government employee. We were 5 children. So I had to fight literally, and that's when I went through that system where you could see the corruption as well. When I go to a bank manager and I'm showing them my file that, look, that's what my qualification is, and that's what I work as an operation manager for this company, and I want to pursue my higher education, and I need education loan. And nobody would give me because they all needed bribe, or
under the table.
And I literally had fight with few bank managers. And finally, there was this nice lady in Punjab National Bank, the manager, and she actually listened to my story, and she said, Vic, I'm impressed. You do what you want to do. And I sat on her chair, and she said, you write your own education loan letter. And I wrote my own letter, got my education loan sanctioned, and there we go, my first flight to London.
London. So you made it happen. So does that mean that if you have a vision, you have a goal, and you have the dream, it's possible, even if there's no money in the account, but you can convince and get onto it?
Absolutely. I believe that your past does not define you.
No.
Nothing is written on stone. You can change things. So people say that whatever your past will reflect, probably not. It's your past doesn't define you. You may be something else. People may never be able to figure out what your past was.
Yeah.
If you make sure that you're doing the right things in your present, you pass. Don't let your past define you.
Wow. So take the right decision.
True.
It's all about the decisions we make.
And that commitment, that determination to achieve what you want to achieve in life.
So why finance?
Yeah, that's interesting because my second master's was in IT as well, as most Indians are.
Yes.
IT. So my second master's was in IT. But after doing that MBA, I became sort of a management person, moved into telecom. And then when I landed here in Australia, finance was always an area of interest for me. So I did my qualification in finance and started Finance Point back in 2010. And it's going very well.
Okay, so almost 11 years
Almost
you
11
started.
Years, yes.
Wow, were you not scared?
No, not at all. And that's what I keep saying. There was so much within our community itself. There was so much business out there, If you do the right thing, you be the trusted advisor, business will follow you. You don't have to run after business. And that's what we try to do. We try to be the trusted advisor for people. Don't care about business, it will follow.
Yeah.
So, and that's one example that whenever I am in any program where there are youngsters involved, and a lot of such people I remember from my memory who were actually scared to start something.
Absolutely.
And then I could motivate them, I could tell them my story, and I could tell them the story of a lot of people here from our community who at times went bankrupt, and started again from then, and they're very successful people. It's just you should not give up, and this land allows you to rise again.
Yes.
Even if you fall.
Yeah.
So
So I always say that, every day when you wake up, you have a chance over here. It's a beautiful day. It's a new day. You can go and do and take any decision of your life as long as you're not harming anyone.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Isn't it?
Absolutely.
So you were the past vice president for GOPIO Queensland.
Yes.
Tell me that journey.
Well, that's been good. I think GOPIO is a very reputable organization, and it's the organization of and the biggest organization for Indian diaspora people. And my association with them has been great. Starting back in 2011 when I was new, joined them as a volunteer, then to secretary, and then to vice president. So yeah, that organization is very close to my heart. We still do a lot of things, and I'm still always active part of it, though I may not be on the executive committee there. But yeah, we do the India Day Fair
India
here.
Day Fair, it's coming up 15th of August.
It is, and the committee is doing the wonderful job. So, and all the best to the whole committee. But yeah, that journey has been good. That allowed me to connect with my community. That allowed me to have, access to those 250 people back in 2009 to around 15,000 people the year before.
Yeah.
And that's where it has grown to that India Day Fair. So
That's a lot of people in 10 years.
It's a lot of people.
Yeah.
So it allowed me to connect to people as well. So yes, that journey has been great. But I had to resign last year because of my other commitments with business, with my young son.
Yes.
And of course, connection back home where I want to bring a change as well. So I'm doing a lot of work for bringing a change back home.
Wow. So what made you so much interested in politics?
Well, I think we all know the problems. I'm sure in your childhood you have seen that as well. And I would say to every youngster that they need to get involved in politics if they want to change India. We all know the problems, but we all need to work towards solution. We all know the problems. So that's what motivated me, because as I said, one of those incidents when I wanted to go to London and I wouldn't get an education loan,
No.
without paying someone bribe or using the source of a minister or someone, that's wrong. That's actually
Absolutely.
killing the potential of that child who wants to go abroad and study and come back to contribute to the Indian economy.
Absolutely.
So I saw that, and of course we've been seeing that since our childhood. That driver's license, if you have to get, what are the problems? No good hospitals, no good schools. It's all relating to that.
Yeah.
And that's what makes me think that that country has given me a lot. All my childhood, my best friends, my family, they're all there. So I need to get that word Indian a bit more respect.
So how do you contribute?
So I'm associated with political party.
Okay.
And of course, I don't want to keep this
sure.
political at all. But yeah, I strongly believe that they're doing a wonderful job. So the Aadmi party, so we formed it here in Australia as well. So I'm the founder member for that. And the wonderful work that they're doing in Delhi. I actually am a regular donor. So in Delhi, we have a concept called Mohalla Clinic, which are the small sort of suburban clinic that are helping all those poor people who cannot afford free health. So I'm one of the sponsors for Mohalla Clinic as well. And I'm a regular donor. I'm a regular volunteer for that party whenever elections come. I was in Delhi last year campaigning on the ground
So,
as well.
the worst thing that I see that, I don't want to get into politics. That's the first thing that every youngster or many people say, Arey yaar, I don't want to get into it. That's the wrong path.
Indeed.
If you don't know what's going on, if you know something's bad going on, you need to be in it to know what's going on so that you can bring about the change. And that's what you're doing.
Absolutely. I'll just use one saying of Einstein, when he said once that the world will not be destroyed by those who do the sins, but by those who watch them doing sins in silence. So people who actually do the sins are a handful. The people who do the wrong things are a handful. But the people watching them are in millions, are in thousands.
Big audience.
So we are the ones who can bring the change. The people who do those sins are not going to destroy this
No.
world. It's the people who watch them doing
Sit and
sins in
watch.
silence. So raise your voice.
Yeah.
Get involved, to change the system. It's not going to change if you don't get involved.
Ladies and gentlemen, Vikas Sinha with us.
Singh Fabrications, the leading Brisbane light metal fabricators. We have over 25 years industry experience, specialising in steel balustrades, screens, stringers, columns, bollards, fences and gates. We offer quality hand welding and sheet metal fabrication services for residential, commercial and industrial projects. No job is too small or too big, and we offer a free measure and quote for your upcoming project. We tailor custom solutions to your needs. Singh Fabrications, a commitment to professional service and compelling value for money. Our work stands out from the rest. See for yourself at singhfab.com.au.
Welcome back. I have Mr. Vikas here in the studio. Thank you so much for sharing your vast experiences. The most important question I would like to ask you is that I didn't know personally that being an NRI, being a citizen of Australia, I can contribute back in India in political way. Please elaborate.
Sure. I think that's what the notion is of a lot of youngsters here. They think they're here, they can't. A lot of people are not motivated to do that, but if you have a little bit of motivation, yes, you can contribute. So how we do is, of course, most important thing is to understand what's going on. And for that, you need to spend a little bit of time on that, for sure. And for contributing, whosoever you think is doing the right job, be it your local MLA or a councillor, or if not, then of course, a leader of any political party, that you think are doing the wonderful job. But yes, that should be well researched, not what certain sources tell you.
Yeah.
And then you can do contribution from here by creating awareness. You can have social media is the biggest tool which you have, through which spread the good work of them, tell them what good they're doing. And then whenever the elections are coming, I'll tell you how we contribute, and then people can pick how they can. So I remember during Delhi elections, we used to have calling campaigns from all across the world. So we made about 10.5 lakh calls from NRIs to the voters, calling them, talking to them from here, saying, do you know about your local candidate? Do you know about how qualified they are? What's their education? What's their background?
What an idea.
Exactly. And say, do you think that whatever has happened in past has been going good? Are you looking for a change? Do you think they are the right people? You should vote for them. I'm not asking you to vote for them. I'm telling you who they are, what are they going to do, what the background is. Do you think we should bring a change? And you will see a lot of positive response from people saying, yeah, I think that's a good idea. I'll definitely vote for them. So the calling campaigns, and awareness things that you can do.
Do you do any workshops?
We do, yeah.
You do
absolutely,
workshops,
time to time. We do.
So if we have to find you on social media, how do we find you?
Anywhere, just go on my Facebook profile, Vikas Sinha. It's full of all those things. My profile is not personal, it's all public type of thing.
Public, that's good.
So, there, and then I'm happy to chat, and then we have then other organizations and some really nice people, some very sort of distinct groups as well, who believe in education, communal harmony, and well-researched topics that they discuss things on. And they're very highly educated people, well-respected people in that group. And we can get people connected and get the conversation started to bring the change.
Fantastic. So as we were talking before, reading books is very important. And you mentioned that reading books is like meditating.
Yes.
So I read in your introduction that you are a Vipassana meditator. So what does that exactly mean?
Well, Vipassana is a set of technique for meditation, which is different from all other meditation. Nothing to criticize about other meditation, but it's just different. It's Buddhist meditation, and it just lets you work with your body. No imagination, no God, no guru, no object, no material. It's just working with your body. You know? So that is something that you never have to be without. You know, you're always with your breath, you're always with your body. So that meditation for me was life-changing. It was life-changing meditation. And then good thing is that it actually came from Buddha, who was Gautam Buddha, who was born in India. A lot of people don't know that Buddhist religion was from India. So Gautam Buddha was from there, and he was the one who started this Vipassana. So yeah, they do 10 days course at different places. I think they're in 70 different countries now. And I would say to everyone, if ever you get chance, do that. It's life-changing. It will just change your perspective of life completely.
I'm doing it in August. So yeah, I'm looking
Well
forward to
done.
that. And I heard it from somebody who is here, a local Australian citizen, a Caucasian, and he mentioned it to me that why don't you go and do it? And I'm like, how do you know about it? And he said it changed my life. So I do believe it.
All the very best, and I think when you will come out of that, you'll be a completely different person.
Wow.
Not that you're a bad person. You're such a good person, but you will be even better. You know, it just lets you reflect, but it's difficult. It's not going to be easy. You know that it's 10 days,
10 days.
no phone, no
books,
social
cannot
media,
write,
no books, no exercise,
nothing.
and you cannot utter a word. So in those 10 days, you hear people singing in the bathroom.
Okay.
Because they can't talk for 10 days, you know, you can't utter a word. So it's difficult, and that is what actually lets you reflect on your life and makes you think what life is actually all about, you know. So it's life-changing.
Wow.
I would recommend, and you were going, wow.
I'm looking forward to this.
You will love it. You will love it.
Your journey is so amazing, and it actually inspires a lot of youngsters, and especially me, knowing that, you know, if you have nothing, still you can make it big. So what is the one thing that you would like to advise the youngsters who are struggling right now to make choices in their life?
I think the strong determination to do things, you know. Set milestones in your life, and then don't just run after jumping 2 or 3. Just go one thing at a time. That's this milestone, and that's that milestone, and then work towards that. You know, so set smaller milestone for yourself. This is where I want to be in a year's time. This is where I want to be in 3 years' time. This is where I want to be in 5 years' time, and then follow that. And if you're here in Australia, well, trust me, you will get it. You know, if you are determined, if you are dedicated, committed, there's no way you can fail. So just get up early in the morning, go to work. If not going to work, just go out. You
Get
know,
out
meet
of the
people, understand this world. This is such a beautiful world, full of opportunities. You know, you want to start a business? Well, yes, you can. You want to get that career? Yes, you can. You know, you can do everything. Yes, it's just that determination that is required. So yes, set up small milestone for yourself, and then keep achieving those one by one, and you will get there. You'll get there.
Fantastic. So determination is the key. My guest today, Mr. Vikas Sinha, thank you so much for your time here.
Thank you, Reena. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.